Alright folks, how you doing? This week we are going to Chicago with Fenton Robinson. Got a few things to get through on this one, so let's not dilly-dally, let's get stuck in. What I'll do is I'll just play bits of the recording through the opening section into the first solo and just pause the recording and sort of break down roughly what's going on so you can get to grips with it yourselves. Alright, let's dive in.
I'm going to Chicago. I'm so sorry I can't take you. I'm going to Chicago. I'm so sorry I can't take you. A good time with all my old friends, just like I used to do.
Alright, so just to kind of walk you through the basic chord progression here, so we've got B flat, E flat 7 or E flat 9, chord again, E flat, and then here back down to the 4. So what's happening there is we're thinking about B flat major. Okay? Kind of ascending through the major scale but playing the major scale as chords, so the harmonized major scale. So to put that in simple chord language, he's just going to go B flat, C minor 7, D minor 7, and then G7, descending into the 5 chord of F7, back down to the 4 chord. So in a way, if you add in all the passing tones, he's walking on the 6th string upwards 2 tones, all the way to D, and then from the next string down, descending from G all the way to E flat and then back to the root. Now the main stopping points are obviously B flat, C minor, D minor, G7, F7, E flat 7, back to the B flat. Okay, the voicings I prefer to use for this are kind of just on the 1 chord like so, and then walk up, and just flatten your finger here so you've got the root note and the main bit of the minor 7 chord. You don't have to play the full chord like that. You can if you wish, prefer not to though. To the D, and then just a partial G7, you know, and then down to the 4. And I think right at the end there, just as I cut it off, there's a little riff there, just this is stock Fenton Robinson phraseology here, just simple little bends, but played, you know, with a lot of intention, a lot of speed, and outlining the chord change. Right, he's about to hit this the 5 chord to round out the turnaround. So his last phrase is this, which lands on the root note of the 5 chord there. Okay, let's get into the top of the verse and see what fills he's going to put in now.
I'm going to Chicago. Baby, I just can't take you.
Cool. So, and then he's going to play the 6th. cool. Alright, so starting out that little phrase, he's got the top of the B flat chord, so on the B string and E string, and then straight into the 6th, like this. So index finger on the 6th fret, 8th fret pinky, 7th fret, 8th fret, like so. And you're going to slide into it and hit the top of the chord as a punctuation, and then come out a tone below. Okay. Okay, and then the next phrase, very cool. What you want to do here is kind of have your index finger flattened over a bunch of strings here at the top, and you're going to do just like you did before. Okay. Very nice little riff.
I'm going, yeah. I'm so sorry I can't take you.
Alright, so here he's back on the root, and this is over the section where it's walking up. And he's gonna go something like that. Think about the pentatonic framework here. Okay, just walking up the pentatonic on the high string, but he's going to go chromatic here, coming out on the B flat root. Another thing to think about here is this is kind of getting towards the 5 chord, right? So on the 5 chord we've got this kind of phrase. Just classic swing phrasing. Okay? So those notes can be found here as well. So that's kind of what he's outlining there, you know. Obviously he plays it very fast and very fluently, so just slow it down. Think about the chord changes and get a melody out of what you're playing, you know. Alright, let's move on.
I'm gonna stop on the west side and pick up my lady, and then we're going to the south side. And I'm gonna play some good old soul blues. Yeah.
Alright, so to start his little solo, Soulful Blues, he's going to start off with the top of that B flat chord again. Okay, really simple, just the top of the chord and bending the 7 towards the root. And the trick is obviously keeping the index finger flatted here and being able to bend that and then step onto the index finger. I'm going to go okay. Now he plays the phrase one time, leaves a little gap, still on the 1 chord, and then he's going to repeat the phrase and end on the bend. Okay, that's the first part. Alright, we're on the 4 chord change now. And he's going to do this little walk from the 5 of B flat, so 6th fret B string. We're going to walk up to the 6th, 5 to the 6th, so 6th fret to the 8th fret, up to the flat 3rd. You can do it that way within the chord box, or you could sort of drop it down that way. way you want to play it. Let's have a go. Alright, this is really cool, just taking pieces of the inside of the chord, right? So he's going to grab these bass end of the chords from the 5 to the root, sliding in. And then he's going to grab the major third to the 5 on the high string. He doesn't play those extra bits, but it's the same idea, just grabbing 2 notes out of the chord voicing, dyads, groups of 2. Nice little device. And then I could hear there he was about to go off on one again. Let's just catch the tail end of this. Alright, so he's really getting into his Fenton Robinson like hardcore single note flurries now. But again, at this part of the solo, it's over these chord changes leading into the 5. So at this point, he's thinking. So we got the root note up here, right? The B flat root, and this little top end of the pentatonic box. So he's kind of sliding from these high notes, like from the F. I don't really, this guitar isn't giving me that note very nicely, but you get what I mean. That kind of stuff. So what you want to think about is just getting up there, maybe add some chromatic movement. And you've got the root, and then you want to do a little flurry to end, you know. And you want to also think about, you know, the last chord we're going to hear in the sequence, right, is the 5. So when you're playing your final phrase, it's a good idea to kind of try and outline that 5 chord. Same thing that T-Bone Walker was doing, Charlie Christian, Fenton Robinson does it. All these guys. So we're looking to target those root notes. Yeah? Important thing to think about there is, as I was saying, you know, he's got lots of fast flurries, but really he's going from point A to point B a lot of the time. So you can think about moving from root note to root note on each of the chord changes, and you can use the pentatonic scale as a framework to ascend or descend, or you can use the arpeggios of all the chords that we have here, right? Lots of things to use. B flat major, and you know that lovely ascending line, so we've got C minor, D minor, G to F, so you could write a nice little line just using simple triad arpeggios. So something simple like that. Alright folks, hope you've enjoyed this little lesson on Fenton Robinson. Hope you found it useful. Practice hard this week and be sure to listen along to the original recording just like I was doing. Just take your time, take it section by section, and try and get the gist of what's going on there. Make it work for you. Alright, I look forward to seeing you all this week, and as ever, practice hard. We'll see you then. Bye bye.